Tabu, I'm so excited that you're our first guest on this new season of The Bold Bunch.
Thank you.
Thank
For
you.
that
Thank
honor.
you. No, thank you. Frankly, there couldn't be a more fitting artist that represents bold choices, that represents risk taking and following one's gut and instinct.
Thank you.
You know, I feel like we have to start by talking about the new project, which was just recently announced. You're, of course, reuniting with your namesake director, Meera Nair.
Yeah.
You're a key character in her 6-part adaptation of A Suitable Boy.
Yeah.
You play Saida Bai, who is the courtesan, the musician and the courtesan. It's a very integral part. She's who Man Kapoor becomes besotted by. He's, of course, the headstrong son of the politician. What was it that made you want to do this? Why was this a show that you wanted to be a part of?
Because the book is what it is, and then it was Meera who was making it. And it's always a pleasure and a treat to work with her. And of course, the role is beautiful. And it's just the right kind of setup and project that I would have liked to belong to. Yeah.
You recently put up a picture on Instagram of the script. You sort of teased a picture, which means that prepping has begun.
No, the photograph I put out because I wanted to share with everybody that I'm part
That
of
you're doing it, yeah.
Yeah. And to just say it out aloud that we've finally started the process. So, yeah. I don't have any pictures from there. So, I
Right.
think this was the best way for me to tell it to the world.
You know, you last worked with Meera on The Namesake, which came out in 2006. It's one of my favorite performances of yours, Ashima Ganguly, who's this just the way that love story begins and the arc of how she eventually becomes widowed and is raising her children. I remember you saying that that film came to you at a point in your life when you were craving a new experience, and it fulfilled that for you, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I articulated it to myself. I don't know if I could put it in words. But now looking back, I think I was terribly in need of and was looking for a new experience. And Namesake gave me that in more ways than one. Professionally, personally, in so many aspects of my personality.
Right.
Grew and changed and got altered and got many things added onto it. It was too rich an experience for me. It was a very rich experience, not too rich. Nothing is too rich.
Right.
You can just keep absorbing as much as you can. But it was a very rich experience for me. The effects of which I still see,
Yeah.
and they'll continue to be part of me. It really, I think, catapulted me into a different place,
Right.
and I could grow in many directions.
Correct.
From there. So I'm ever thankful to everything and anything that got me that.
Yeah.
Got me in that
It
place.
was your first American film. It then
Yeah.
sort of led you to making choices like The Life of Pi.
I got Life of Pi because of
that.
the Namesake.
Right. Ang Lee apparently saw the namesake
Namesake.
and became kind of absolutely
decided to
convinced
cast
that.
me. Yeah.
Because this is a show that's called The Bold Bunch, are there key decisions that you've taken that you regard as perhaps bold decisions that have resulted in where you are today?
Maybe I don't know if I looked at them as being bold.
That's why I figured that you've never led your life like that, right?
Yeah. I think they came naturally to me. But I mean, having said that, I'm sure there was some kind of resistance to and some kind of gravitation towards something, that led me to make these choices. And the choices that I was given, the options that I was given, I was lucky to have those options. And I think luckily they resonated with who I was and the kind of truth that I wanted to tell about myself. Also, I think these characters allowed me to break away from the regular representation of the Hindi film heroine.
True.
Even personally, as a character, as a person,
Right.
you know, it gave me the platform to say so many things about who these people were, and that was exactly what I wanted, and that is exactly what I fought for internally. You know, when you asked me that bold choices when I was making and all that, I feel like anything that feels like a shackle to me, it feels like really repetitive and really predictable, you know, I sort of wanted to always, it made me feel uncomfortable to an extent. When it's fine to do things in that, you know, parameter also, you know, so I think anything that allows me to breathe in some way, you know, it's important for me.
Sure. You know, what I love most about you is just the varied choices that you tend to make. I mean, on the one hand, there is A Suitable Boy, but you've also just been shooting a Telugu film with Allu Arjun. It's your first Telugu film in 10 years.
Yeah.
Why the long gap? You've loved going off and making your movies in Hyderabad.
I know, really. I mean, now that I'm doing this film, I'm thinking, why didn't I do more?
Right.
Maybe the offers were not, whatever, I did not want to at that time, or I don't know, so many factors, but even this came at a time where I really wanted to do a Telugu film, you know, and it's been my home, and it's very comforting for me to do a Telugu film, actually, because I get to go home. I speak the language, so it's not so difficult for me. And I know pretty much almost everybody in the industry there. And it's a smaller world compared to Mumbai and our film industry. And I think I have great associations there with people. My work has been very good there. I've had successful films there and so many things. But I think it gives me the opportunity to pick myself up from the world here in our film industry and have like a corner which is pretty much in a lot of ways divorced from the film industry here. You know? So I don't know, I can't put a finger on what it is, but it's really like I come back with a lot when I come back from doing a Telugu film, you know?
You know, Andhadhun, your beautiful Andhadhun, won 3 national awards recently, including Best Hindi Film. You've said that this was one of your most satisfying experiences on a set lately.
Yeah, it was challenging in many ways. It was complete in many ways. It's still maybe because we've not tried to, you know, figure out what happened finally. Maybe it will get complete only then, but it will never be complete in that way. But it has been one of my most satisfying experiences because it was a very different format that I was performing in or acting in or telling this story. It was nothing like I have done before. You know, this kind of storytelling, you know, where the plot and the characters are equally, you know, like intertwined with each other, and one cannot override or overshoot the other. You know, and it was very, क्या बोलते हैं? You can't. There's not even an invisible knot that you can tie the whole story with.
Correct.
You know. I mean, now that we are a little away from it,
you can sort of analyze it,
why it was so, you know, why it was so engaging even for people. So even with the characters, really you can't put a finger and say, this is the kind of character.
This is the kind of person she is or whatever. You know, this year you also did De De Pyar De, which I want to talk about because on the face of it, it's this comedy about a 50-year-old man who gets into a relationship with a woman who's half his age, and a lot of the jokes are sort of sexist, ageist jokes about a new car and old models and all of those things, which is fine. But what I have to say, what I was very pleasantly surprised by was some of the questions that the film raises, and it really comes through your character because you play the ex-wife, the wife that he's separated from, and you know, it raised questions about who is really responsible when a marriage breaks up. It raises questions like, you know, can you still love someone even if you're not actually in love with them? And also, you know, can a middle-aged woman find love as easily as a middle-aged man find? I mean, I thought these were very fascinating questions. And you have, in my opinion, the best scene in the film, which you of course performed exceptionally, which is the scene where you talk about why it's always the woman who's expected to hold things together, why the woman is expected to be responsible, which I didn't expect to see in this kind of film. You know, these questions. Was that what drew you to it? The fact that there were layers to a film that on the surface just feels like one of those kind of, you know, adult naughty comedies.
Was it?
Was that what attracted you to it?
Yeah, absolutely. When Love narrated the story to me, what caught me and why I said yes is because of this.
Right.
You know, because my character really comes in the middle of the film,
True.
around the interval.
And that's the part from which the film really actually, you get into the film. Yeah.
And as a character, I got to say these things which are, I think there have been questions in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And these are things that I would have loved to talk about. You know, especially about separation, about divorce, and about children, and about the effect it has on children.
Right.
Like, I particularly like the line in which she says that if you inherit the wealth and money and everything from the parents, you also inherit their broken relationships.
True.
You know, which is so true, but we don't get to address these
those things, right.
Maybe not so much in movies, especially,
right.
Or maybe not in the mainstream.
Yeah,
space,
in popular films, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So I think that was the most interesting thing for me, and really it was commendable on Love's part to, you know, think of these things from a woman's point of view. You know, being a man.
Correct.
So it was really a very nice thing for me to see that.
Right.
And I enjoyed those scenes, and because they are very real, relatable, and I've seen it happening in so many instances in my family, with my friends, and really it's about the children and so many equations.
True.
You know.
You've played such varied parts, you know, strong, vulnerable, fragile, and everything in between, literally. Is there a role that feels closest to who you really are, or one that reflects your personality the closest?
I think I can identify with and relate to the traits of these people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know as a person
entirely if one feels like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
But which ones
I don't know,
would you
because
say?
The situations are
correct,
very different.
Are very different, right?
Yeah.
Right. But who are the ones where you can instantly feel like these bits in this person? I mean, which ones ring especially true, perhaps?
In the lighter films, I think Chini Kam.
Right.
I think most easy to, because also I think it was more today,
correct,
and you
correct.
know, you could see yourself being there in that situation.
She's very modern. She's very
Yeah. De De Pyar De, I don't know if after
that's what,
marriage, you know, so
hopefully
situation
you'll never find out those things.
Yeah, I'll have to wait really long, but I think it's too late.
No.
But some things about every character
stay with you,
stay with me, definitely. I think so. Maqbool, Heather, Namesake, Astitva. Chandni Bahar was very different because it's a different world that you're speaking about.
Right.
Kandukonde, you know. But having said that, I think these characters have been so divorced from our regular everyday life.
None of them have been just the average Joes, you know. Average Jane,
they're not like today's normal.
Correct.
Ghar pe hai. I don't know if I.
But you know, they wouldn't come to you for the normal everyday kind of girls, which is a huge compliment, actually.
Yeah. Matlab, if you talk about variety, I think I've been one of the most fortunate to get this wide variety
and really
of characters.
Complex women.
Yeah.
Which is just incredible.
Yeah. Really. Complex lives, complex women,
relationships,
relationships.
Ghazala, way to parts like that.
Yeah. And it gave me the space to take them anywhere.
Right.
You know, I think luckily working with Vishal, Gulzar Saab, all these people, there's so much freedom for interpretation. For emoting, for interpretation, that you don't feel tied down by anything or weighed down by the characters.
Right.
I think, those chances have been brilliant for me. Yeah.
I feel like we're richer, cinema is richer by these just the instinctive choices that you made. I feel like there are going to be lots more exciting characters. Cannot wait to see what you do next. But thank you for making these choices. Thank you for giving us films that really are enduring films. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so happy that you're in our first episode. Thank you.
So am I.
Thank you.